Hi, I am Mr. Wabuku, and today I'm going to show you how to repair a dent on a vehicle. I have some assortment of tools here, and I want to thank Mr. Waidaji for giving me an opportunity to use his vehicle for online training. So, we have dents on this vehicle. I want to show you how to repair these dents. We have various dents, as you can see in this front quarter that we have already started to remove old paints. But before we get to the dent, let's talk about the tools that we have today. So the tools that we have, we'll start with these hammers. We have these hammers that have different profiles, and these are called planishing hammers. And this is for planishing the dents. As you find, the vehicle is not that much damaged, so we don't need shrinking hammers. This one is one I did modify. It's also a planishing hammer, but you can do a bit of roughing out because it is a bit heavy, and so we are also using this one. We don't have the dollies. On place of the dollies, we have these spoons. This one, you can see it has a less curve than this one. So we'll use this one on places where you cannot use a dolly. Maybe on a door. If you look at this door here, we do have dents. So the other side. So there's a dent here. In order for us to, we had to pull outward, but we don't have a pulling hammer. So in its place, what we are doing is we removed this part of the door. We removed the plastic. Now you can access using this one. So you can place it somewhere where you cannot use a dolly. This is a spoon, and this is also a spoon. Well, we don't just have the dollies, but we'll use a dolly where we can. So you can use this one instead of a dolly, right? Now, other tools we have, like this one. This one is a body file. And you can see how some bit of this was used to remove old paint from this dent. And we also have other tools here, like a mallet. You can use these mallets for bumping the doors. Places where the dent is not that big, you don't need to use those hammers to reduce the chances of the damage or tear. Then we also have this one. This one is for pulling out a dent. It's actually a pulling pad. As you can see, it has a plastic pad. What it does, when it is like this, it's flat. But when you pull it, you close this lever here, it creates a depression here. And because of lack of air, this creates a vacuum so that you can pull the dent. So, for example, it's like that. You place it on the door, or on the panel, and then you close this lever here, and then you can pull. As you can see, it's very hard to pull up, to remove it from the door. But by doing that, when you have a lesser dent, you can be able to pull the dent without using the hammer. Therefore, you don't need to scrub the paint because of hammering and so forth. You just need to pull the dent if it is not that big. So just place it on the dented area, close the lever, and then you pull, right? Yeah, so that's a pulling part. Then we have these sandpapers, which are quite crucial in this process. And the sandpapers will be used, for example, if you look at this It's an assortment of sandpapers. This one, as you can see, it has quite a coarse grit. These are sand particles. It's quite coarse. You can see it's written number 40. From 30 to 40, usually they have this big cores. The higher the number, the finer the sand on the papers. So you can see this one is a higher one. It's about 80 to 100. This is medium sized grit. And then we have this one about 240. From 200, 180, 200, 240. We have these sandpapers for wet sanding, right? And we also call it hammery paper. Hammery paper. Also some people use to corrupt the language. They call it kaemi. So this is the hammery paper, and we use this one, the rough one, to establish the profile, or to sand out some of the paint, some of the wood paint. Also, when you are using the filler, you can remove quite a big layer using this one to establish your profile, right? And then use this medium size. You can see this one is about 100, just like the other. This is 100. This one is 80. So these are medium sized. We use them, especially when you have done applying filler. Once you have used this grit 40, then you use this one to remove those scratches that were left by this paper. And also, and then from there, then you can use the armory, kaemi. You can use the armory to smoothen out, and it also to feather edge, to a feather edge. Feather edge means that once the dented area plus the area was not dented, once you touch, you will not feel any kind of borderline between the two surfaces. It's just feather edge, smooth, right? Then we also, here we have some materials to use. This one is body filler. Body filler, as you can see, this one, you are told to be used on all types of surfaces. Here you can see minimum pinholes, lightweight and flexible, good consistency. It's very good. And also you can see we have some instructions here. It's also good to read some of these instructions, especially on how to keep it safe. You will see here that you store it in a quite cool place, tight, and ensure that this is tightly closed, because if air gets into the container, it's exposed to the air for a long time, it cures. It starts to curing this process of drying, and you will waste a lot of money. You waste money, and your business will not be profitable. Also, for safety purposes, you're supposed to avoid contact with your eyes, so it is good to use some gloves. And then, if you have unused, like now, you have already applied using a spatula. Spatula is like this one. I have made mine on a mixer, and I have a mixing plate here. A spatula is or a knife is what you use to apply, and that's why you call this the knifing filler, using the knifing mechanism of applying the filler to the body. So once you have mixed, you should not use the same to scoop out of the container, and also the one used for mixing, because it means you'll be returning some of this hardener, which is quickens the hardening, the curing of the body filler. So this hardener here has a different color from this one. This is like creamish. This one is reddish. So you apply a little bit of about 2% of what you have here. You apply 2% of this. So this one you apply it so that the mixture is 2:100. So just just cross the amount that you had applied or put on the mixing plate, and then you mix that into a consistent into a uniform color. That means you have thoroughly mixed. Make sure that you mix, because if you don't mix thoroughly, it means some of those places will harden more quickly than the others, and this will cause some kind of tensioning, and you have cracks, and you will not have done a good job, right? Um, then we also have masking tape. This one we use for masking areas where we don't want to apply to spray paint, right? We are not going to do this in the process of panel beating, but later when we are doing the spray painting, we'll need this to mask off using newspapers and or other materials, just to make sure maybe the windscreen, the lights, the grills, and the fenders, they are not sprayed, right? So then we also have this here is as the thinner. This is thinner. When we are in the process of, because we also be applying some primer. This is a primer, and this is a white NC, the color coat. We'll be mixing with this standard. Then as you can see here, usually it is indicated here, thinner for use with NC primer, NC lacquers and paints, like this one here. As you can see here, we have an NC white. We also need an NC primer and so forth, and then we also have NC clear coat. So remember that we also have acrylic paints. Acrylic, you mix them with using acrylic thinner and also a hardener. The ratio of 1:1:4. The hardener is a quarter ratio. The thinner is 1, and the paint is 1. The ratio is 1:1:4. But this one, we will just mix it into the ratio of 1:1. But also remember that through experience, you can mix, you can change those ratios depending on how your speed of spray painting, and your distance, the amount of the pressure of your compressor, the air compressor. I will show you later in the process of spray painting. But now we are just dealing with roughing out of these dents. So the first process here is to remove old paints, and then we rough it out to profile, and then we use these planishing hammers to planish. The process of finishing out the process of panel beating. Then we have a machine here. This machine it's more like it's like a grinder, a hand grinder. But this one, you can use it for buffing, using this buffing disc to remove the outer layer of the paint, because maybe like on top where we not be doing panel beating, and we also need to have a consistent color. Look that because of sunlight, some of this paint has oxidized and somehow changed color. So we need this one to remove that stuff. We use the paste or polishing to remove that part of the top layer, so you can have a uniform color, and then you spray paint. So this one, you use this one, and you fix it, and then you just connect. You can control the speed and you use it. Also note, you can use this one with these are sanding disc, just like this paper, and you can see they have numbers also. This is a grit number. This is 80. So this one is a medium sized grit, and then we have this one is 40. So 40. So when you are roughing out when you are starting, you use this one, and then you can use this one to smoothen a little bit. So you use them here. You put them on this, and then you just fix. fix. So we are going to use that one also. I'll show you how to use. Other than that, that was part one of an introduction of what we'll be doing together, and I hope that you will enjoy. Thank you.